Hi y'all, Austin here with Outer World Media. Welcome back to another weekly update. I don't even know at this point. I think it's just I'm gonna stick with the weekly update, weekly delivery. I don't know what I'm thinking, guys. Just I'm gonna edit that part out, I guess. But let's get into it though, guys. I hope you guys have had a great week and whatnot. Hope you guys are staying warm. I know here in West Texas it's pretty cold. We're under some freezing warnings. National weather advisories or whatever for the next few days. Actually snowed overnight. We lost power for just a little bit. So, again, just trying to stay warm, stay inside, watch some NFL playoff, football and whatnot. Got the Ravens playing tonight. So, pulling for them. Hopefully, see Lamar go to the AFC Championship and whatnot. And, yeah, hopefully not have another Kansas City Super Bowl. Hopefully. But let's get into it though, guys. You're not here to listen to me talk about football. You're here to listen to me hopefully talk about books and whatnot. So again, let's get into it. I'm gonna start off, guys. Kind of a little bit of a downer, but I want to get this out there. I am going to be setting Clive Cussler's what is this? The Fargo Adventure Series, book number 2, Lost Empire. I'm just gonna be setting this down, guys. I'm not DNFing it. It's been like a week and a half, and I had not picked this book up. I don't seem to have the desire to. There's other books that I want to read, and that was one goal this year that I had was, if I'm not really enjoying the book. I don't want to force myself to read something I'm not enjoying that I'm gonna have to force myself to pick up. I just kind of want to read what I'm in the mood for. So and I don't seem to be in the mood for this. So again, I own like the first 12 or 13 of these books in this series. So I'm going to read all these at some point in time, but I'm just going to set this down for a little bit. And then I did have a couple westerns that I had on the docket to try to get through to this month, but I'm just kind of feeling a little bit different. So I'm going to change up some books. So I had Conager and Max Brand's Gunman's Feud, Conager by Louis L'Amour. Had these on the docket to try to get to. My mood for readings kind of changed a little bit. So I'm going to, again, just kind of pick up and read what I want. But I'll get into those here in just a little bit. But I did finish Jake Logan's Slocum book number 2. That is Ride, Slocum, Ride. What I will say about this, and I had somebody ask in one of the comments on the my official post of this video in-depth review, is this a series that you have to read in order, or just kind of you can read them out of order? That's a tough question. I'm gonna try to read these in order. I need to get book number 3. I've looked on eBay and they seem to be charging quite a bit for book number 1, but I found a lot that has like the first 15 together that seem decently priced. So I'm not sure. Again, I'm just gonna have to look and see. But from the way this one ended, kind of makes me think you might want to read the first however many in a row. Again, I don't know. So keep an eye out for that review. Again, more of an adult turned western. Adult western, if you will. Again, as you can tell here from the cover, kind of a little bit of a sleazy western. So keep an eye out for that review. Looking forward to talking about that. That doesn't seem to be a series that I can find anything really on YouTube or online, any reviews. So hopefully I'll be one of the first, if not the first, to talk about that series. Next, I did pick up Craig Johnson's Longmire book number 15, Land of Wolves, on my Kindle, and I did finish it. It's going to be a while before I get to book number 15 reviewing on the channel. I think I left off at like book 6 or 7 where I need to review and continue on from there. So what I will say, book number 15 was not my favorite. I'm not going to lie. It was very interesting to see the direction that Mr. Johnson has taken this series because, and I don't think it's a spoiler really, but I feel like book 1 through 14 led up and was one continuous story, and book 14 was supposed to have a major payoff and kind of like a culmination of stuff that had led up in book 1 through 14. So I was interested to see where he went with book 15. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't blown away though. So if you're, curious still about picking up this series, I highly recommend it. It really is just a series that I absolutely love. I really, really do love the series. Again, you're not going to bat 100, with every when you have, over 20 books. So super excited to finish that. And then I have picked up book number 8 in the Sackett series, which is titled Sackett. I am like a quarter of the way through the book, started this morning. So I got 2 weeks to try and finish the book. I don't think that would be an issue at all. It seems after To the Far Blue Mountains and Jubal Sackett, Jubal Sackett being the biggest book in the series so far. These other ones, after you read Jubal Sackett, you just kind of fly through them because they're 130, 150 pages, not 300, 350 pages like Jubal Sackett was. But again, I'm enjoying it. It's series, again, it's had its ups and it's had its downs. I enjoyed Lando quite a bit. I'm enjoying this one, so I don't doubt that I'll like it. I'm sure I will really, really like it. But time to get into those, changes on what I'm going to try to read, because with me not trying to read Conager or Gunman's Feud, and Sackett being the last book that I kind of had on the docket for the month of January, what else am I going to try to squeeze in this month if possible? Well, I want to stick with the Western theme. I need to read more Louis L'Amour books. And I was kind of looking at my, shelf over here where I have all my Louis L'Amour books that I have not read just yet. And there was one that was really sticking out to me that I really, really want to read. And that is Louis L'Amour's How the West Was Won. I was going back the other day after looking at my shelf, and I saw this, and I kind of forgot about this book. And I remember seeing Dustin Neely's video where he reviewed and ranked, some John Ford films that had John Wayne in them and whatnot. And I remember him talking about how John Ford, directed just a little segment in there and whatnot. And I have not seen How the West Was Won. I need to see it. There's a certain edition that I want to get. But I really want to read the book first. This is one of Louis L'Amour's longer books, not the longest, but one of his longer ones, if you can't tell. But they luckily had this on sale on Kindle the other day, so I picked it up for like $2. So I enjoy being able to read on the paperback and on my Kindle when I go lay in bed. So again, hoping to try and get How the West Was Won on the docket. I'm sure once I finish Sackett, I'll probably start this one. But again, I just want to try and get, as many Louis L'Amour books read as I possibly can. The goal is to eventually read all of them and then convince everybody that watches these videos to read or pick up and at least try a Louis L'Amour book. Sorry guys, allergies. But next is going to be one that, is a little interesting. I'm not going to lie. So last weekend, my wife and me went to our local Barnes & Nobles, and we have one of those fancy ones that's like 2 stories. It's got some escalators and whatnot. I've been to some where it's just like a little tiny area. But we're in the mystery thriller section. My wife doesn't go book shopping that often. She'll go when I go book shopping. She'll tag along, and she'll look, and she didn't really find a whole lot. But when we were there last weekend, she picked up this one book, read the back of it, and said, "Hey, does this sound interesting to you?" And I read the back of it and said, "Yeah, that kind of sounds interesting. Kind of sounds like a cross between the Blair Witch and something else. I couldn't put my finger on it and whatnot." And she said, "Okay, well," and then they had like 4 or 5 other books by that author there. And before I knew it, she had found that author section, and she had like 4 or 5 other books in her hands. And we're like, "These, I want to get these. Can we get these?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "But you got to try to read these after I'm done with them." I said, "Okay." So I picked up one. And again, my wife, she's not the fastest reader, which is not a bad thing. I'm happy when she reads. We all need to read at our own pace and whatnot. But she flew through this book. Like, she started it yesterday afternoon and was finished before noon this morning. So she didn't read a whole lot yesterday. She just sat in the living room this morning. We both did, and we're reading. And she blew through this book. So kind of gave me some hope maybe that I will, like this one. This one is called by Frida McFadden, One by One. Again, this sounds like a cross, between the Blair Witch and the Cabin in the Woods or something like that. I guess it's like a group of friends that go in the woods, and one by one they start going missing, and just trying to figure out what happened. So again, really kind of like a mystery thriller. Little, like 250 pages, nothing too bad. So I'm gonna try and maybe try to fit this in this month. Again, this is something that I probably wouldn't normally read, but I figured, you know what, I'll give it a shot, step a little bit outside my comfort zone and whatnot, and give that a shot. And then the last one that I want to try and fit on schedule, this month is one when we were there at Barnes and Nobles last weekend. I seen that another book by this author, by these two authors were out. I was kind of reading them and whatnot, and I didn't realize who wrote them. But the book is Ghost of Honolulu by Mark Hammond and Leon Carroll Jr. If those names sounds familiar, it's because Mark Hammond stars as Gibbs in NCIS, and Leon Carroll Jr. was an actual NCIS agent that's retired. And this book is about the lead up to the attack on Pearl Harbor, and I guess how Japan had a spy there. And this is early NIS or something like that. Again, just kind of reads and sounds like a NCIS episode. So again, super super interesting. I've really been wanting to read more nonfiction books, especially about wars and whatnot. I love World War II. So again, super excited to read this because they have another book that just came out called Ghost of Panama. I think it's a little bit longer. So depending on how their writing style is, and if I like this, I'll probably pick that book up. I'm not gonna lie. Again, just super excited to try and read something that's a little different. Again, with Ghost of Honolulu, as well as One by One by Freda McFadden, and How the West Was Won by Louis L'Amour, and try and finish up Sackett. Again, guys, I think I got some really good reading up on docket to finish up January. Again, I'm not trying to blow through all these. Whatever is left at the end of the month, I'll pick up and continue on in February again. Just trying to pick up and read what sounds interesting to me at that time. So again, hope you guys are having a good one. Hopefully you guys are staying safe, and I will see you guys next time.